Greece is currently about $400 billion in debt. That's about 170% of their annual gross domestic product. Over the next 50 years, they are scheduled to repay that, but with the economy in shambles, many experts wonder if that goal is feasible. But how did Greece end up with so much debt in the first place? And to whom specifically does Greece owe money? Greece became somewhat politically and economically unstable back in the 1970s after an attempted government coup. Nevertheless, after a profit spike in the 1990s, they made the fiscal requirements to join the Eurozone in the year 2000. This event inextricably tied Greece to stronger economies like Germany and France, and allowed Grecians more access to low-interest loans. So public spending and government borrowing soared, even as Greece's debt remained higher than the Eurozone average in the 2000s. When the international recession of 2008 hit, Greece spiraled into a debt crisis. To make matters worse, in 2009, it was revealed that Greece had been falsifying reports on their debt for years. When the real statistics were exposed, their national credit rating took a plunge, which in turn caused investors to jack up interest rates. Greece has been on the brink of bankruptcy ever since. German Chancellor Angela Merkel later said that Europe should not have accepted Greece into the Eurozone. Out of the roughly $300 billion in bailout money that Greece must eventually pay back, most of it, or about 47%, is due to the European Financial Stability Facility. This is a temporary organization created by Eurozone members to pool money and help stabilize member countries in crisis. Greece, Portugal, and Ireland are the primary recipients of the EFSF. 19% of Greece's debt is held by other Eurozone governments. Another 12% is held by private investors, and the rest, about 22%, is held by the European Central Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and Treasury bill holders, who are primarily Greek banks. Yet, after all the financial help, Greece remains in trouble. The unemployment rate for those aged 15 to 24 is at 55%. Further, budget cuts are so unpopular that they have led to riots and protests. Meanwhile, Greece and other European governments are locked in heated dispute as to whether Greece should or even could make more financial reforms. Germany and France, who have invested nearly $115 billion in the country, don't want to see Greece default on its debt, but they are also refusing to give Greece another bailout. During the next half-century, Greece needs to stimulate its economy while decreasing government spending. In the end, most experts agree that Greece will not be allowed to go bankrupt. The financial loss for other Western countries, including the United States, would be too great and could potentially create another international recession. Although it's uncommon and definitely not the same as with people, countries can end up bankrupt. To learn more, make sure you check out this full video now.
So what happens when countries go bankrupt? First of all, a country going bankrupt is very different from a corporation or a person going bankrupt. If a corporation or a person declares bankruptcy, there are laws in place which help both the defaulter and the creditor recoup losses. But if an entire nation takes a nosedive into bankruptcy, it's sometimes a free-for-all.
Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all tomorrow.